Hey everyone, it is Penguin Bond here with Bushi for Gaming, joined today with DanDarylmon, our purple expert and king. No offense to Card Fight King, we just gotta rep in house here.
Honestly.
But today we're gonna go over a little bit of what is going on in the Digimon world, starting off with store championships. The May through June store championships have been delayed till June 2nd through June 30th. Now, I know a lot of people don't think this will make a huge impact, but if your store championship is the end of the month, you will have to deal with EX4 coming out, which possibly is Blue Flare and my favorite Dark Knightmon support. The only thing, though, it says on Twitter is that it has been. They apologize for the inconvenience, and they have been informed that they will have to reschedule it on TCG Plus to the period of June 2nd to June 30th. Do we think this was a like they always are, where the cards are just not printed, they're not out, a shipping error, or just we fucked up, so now we got to push it back?
Mm, I think all the above. I think it's a shipping issue. They couldn't get the product out to the stores in time. Um, yeah, so I think that's probably why they ended up pushing it. You know, it is Bandai, so who knows? But
The kind of funny thing is, it only seems like with Digimon this stuff happens. I mean, One Piece, they don't really have delays when it comes out. You just can't get the product. And then with Battle Spirits, there was absolutely no delay. It came out perfectly. And it's just like with Digimon, they have something with it where they're like, oh no, it can't be on time ever.
I think that Digimon is the black sheep right now. I think that One Piece and Battle Spirits are going to generate them money in a way that Digimon is not. One Piece has a huge fan base for people who probably don't play card games, but will play because of One Piece. They just love And I think Battle Spirits, just the draw of the prize support for Battle Spirits, drives the competitive card gamer away from Digimon. So I think that, you know, the hardcore Digimon fans will still stay around, but I think Digimon is going to be a side project for most people, and people are going to branch off to the other games when they want to be more competitive. So I think Bandai recognizes that and treats Digimon as such. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, with Battle Spirits, it's cash. You win, you get money. It's easily the most, I guess, competitive pool that you'll have because it's going to be cold hard cash. You win that, you don't have to worry about trying to sell a Serial Luffy or trying to sell a Shine Greymon for money. You just straight are like, bam, I have money. I can do whatever I want with it. I don't have to worry about all these other avenues. And then with One Piece, if you really do want to sell, you have that ability to make the money off of it. Whereas Digimon right now, it feels like everyone's just like, oh, the cards are cool, but I'm not gonna put my heart and soul into it when I could just go into Battle Spirits and do the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. The pricing is poop. That's why the pricing is poop for Digimon. And I think they're not even working that hard to balance that game. I think they're taking everything they're learning from Digimon and applying it to the other two in a way that those games are fairly balanced so far. They're just coming out the gate, so we'll see what happens. But Battle Spirits has been around for a really long time, so I don't see that they're going to mess that up.
That would be a very Bandai thing to do if they did manage to mess it up, though.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that they've all their efforts and energy and money is going into those games, and you can tell that because they're reducing a lot of the things that they were doing. Like I know Gen Con, um, they had 4 events last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like every day you had a Digimon event with the DC ones and the regionals, and now they're just doing 2 regionals, and even across other, I know here in the DMV, we were all looking forward to regionals at Otakon, and it's not a regionals anymore, so I think, and you could say that that's the people that are supposed to run the tournaments that they don't, they're choosing not to. But I think that Bandai is playing a large part in that as well, in an attempt to get you to play these other games.
I mean, it is a nice screen grab, I guess, in a sense, to get you in because looking right now, as everyone can see on the screen, we have our store championship 2023 participant packs. You get one card per pack, and like Darylmon was saying, they're not great. It's Legend Arms Alliance, which I don't know many people who actually run a Ragnarlormon deck. You got all three playable Sistermons. You have Sistermon block from looks like BT5,
Yeah,
BT6.
bro, these cards are terrible. And you know what though? Let me ask you this: what cards would you have wanted to get out of the store champion pack? Knowing that store championship no longer gets you regionals, so you're really only in it for the cards. What cards would you have wanted?
So if I'm looking at these now, I mean, I'm biased. I would have wanted a Grumblemon Altart because I feel like Grumblemon got shafted when every other single thing from that set got an Altart.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, Grumblemon, great, screw you. You don't get one. But
Yeah.
if I'm really like buckled down, have to choose, it would have probably been something from BT1 or BT2, something from like the roots, from where the game started. Like I know Black War Greymon has been revamped a million times, War Greymon has been revamped a million times, but give me like what was it, Plessimon or something just random that could look really cool as a
Mhm.
card, but instead you give me Megadeth and Hades Force and Chaos Degrade, and you make them look exactly like the second year anniversary set. And I think that's my bigger issue, is there that their gold foiling on the back.
You don't
I,
like the gold foiling?
I don't. I think it takes away from what you're trying to do with it. You're trying to show off the card, yes, but for like the options, they look exactly the same to me.
Yeah. I think I was see when I first saw it, I was like, I quit Digimon. Because I was like, these cards are terrible. Like, but also then I started to think to myself, is like, what cards would I have wanted to see and what would have made a difference for me? And I think like there's no way Bandai doesn't look at our tier list. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you really want to get people to compete for the store championship, since you're not getting anything out of it, I would want you to give me cards that are like they don't have alt arts currently, but they are in a tier 1.5, tier 1 decks. That's kind of what I would want to see, and then I could see people being like, "Yeah, I'm going to work for this card because there's no other version of it." You know,
I mean, you're alright. Even Beelzemon still has cards that are played in that deck that are definitely not altarted. I mean, you have a million Impmons. Let's be honest.
yeah,
But you
but
got what is it? Blue, not Blue Flare. Melga. Melga was tops for so long, and it's like has what maybe six in that whole deck that can be
mhm.
considered altart.
I want alt art calling from darkness.
I could see that.
It's at one of, and you would get all the purple players to play for it because it's what we want. But I think they've got to start creating prize support around cards that people are going to play for several sets. They know what they're going to come out with. So let's start. I do like the alt arts, but I don't like the card pool that they continue to pick from each regionals, store championships. With it's just cards people aren't playing. Who's playing Jesmon right now?
No one. No one at all.
I don't know, but maybe these Sistermon are cracked in the Royal Knights set that comes out. I think it's BT13. Maybe they're
Mm-hmm.
cracked. I don't know. But right now, I don't see any of these cards being played except for Hades 4.
I mean, to make the BT6 Sistermon CL the champion card with the champion stamp, Royal Knights has to be cracked. That's the only thing. You're right. That's the only thing I could think they're building up to is, hey, you have a champion CL. You're gonna want to put it in Royal Knights. The end of story.
Gotta be. And then if it's not, then they just wasted this. No one's like, who's playing for this?
I mean, Chaos Degrade. There's a few people, but you can probably buy that on the aftermarket as a participant thing for $20.
Yeah, 20. You think it's going over 20? I think I'll be able to pick up Chaos the Grade for $10 easy.
10.
Easy. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't.
Well, I'll split the difference and say 15.
Yeah, I just don't. Who's playing Mass Day right now? Like
I mean,
Yeah.
with Beelzemon being best purple in format, you are right. I mean, Megadeth maybe be a thing. Hades Force, even if it is a thing, most good Black War Greymon players run two at most of Hades Force.
Hmm. That's what I'm saying. So I think this was a miss, and really I think it was a huge miss because once they decided that store championships were not going to give you a regionals invite, they really had to put something out there that made you want to play anyway. And
Mm-hmm.
I think they missed it.
Well, speaking of invites to nationals, we do have the regionals coming up, and like you said, it's definitely not as many, or it doesn't feel like there's as many in-person ones. You have the regionals April through June. You had a few that already happened. You have another one happening tomorrow through Core TCG. One happening on the 27th through Top Cut, and then one happening on the 27th as well through PPG.
Mm-hmm.
With store championships not giving invites, with us not seeming like we have as many regional events, do you think there's a way they fix it so that everyone who, say there's a player in Nebraska, middle of nowhere, 3 hours away from anything, and the worst internet connection in the world, could be the best Digimon player ever, and the only way they could get in was through the store championships? Do you think there's something they need to do in order to give more people a chance to be on that big stage?
No, no, I did think that at first, but when you really think about it, I wish I could see the numbers, and I'm sure if I dig hard enough, I could find it. How many people qualified for the store for nationals but didn't go? Like how many store championships, winners didn't go? So, because I'm sure that maybe let's say 1,000, 2,000 people qualified, but only a couple hundred showed up. Is it really worth it for them to to do those store championships and send out that product? I don't think so. I think the person who wants to go to nationals is going to travel. So I
Mm-hmm.
think you have to have more in-person tournaments to allow that person to travel. And then for those people who have for those people who have the internet to support and want to sit at their desk for 8, 9 hours, they can still do the online, cheating infested regionals. They can do that if they want to, but I
Yeah, the
think they
online has been pretty bad with the cheating. There's videos popping up every day of it, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to play that anymore.
yeah, they really need to. I mean, it's good. It was a good faith effort for them to pass down, the invites. So if you have multiples, then you don't get a second one; it just passes down. But I think that they really need to do something about not having enough in-person tournaments. Because like, I have a very nostalgic, soft spot for Digimon, but Lorcana is about to be crazy, you know, and I think it's hitting a lot of those same nostalgic heartstrings that Digimon is searching for. I think when One Piece really starts to get going, I think it's going to pick up. Battle Spirits I've been looking into actually kind of crazy. Um, I think Digimon runs the risk of losing its player base if Bandai doesn't do enough to get people in front of their product.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's like you said, I know a few of us were looking forward to Otakon, and now it's like, oh, we're doing a cash tournament. That's great, but if I wanted to
I
win
mean,
cash, I'll go play Battle Spirits.
it's store credit. It's not even cash. Like,
Oh, it's store. Then never mind. Definitely never
yeah,
mind. That's so
it's
dumb.
like I don't want anything you got.
Well, and most of it at cons are inflated anyway. So you're going to go up there. It's going to be, Royal Knights could have just came, hypothetically. I don't think it's the same time. But if Royal
Mhm.
Knights just comes out, they're going to be charging you $80 for an Altart Jessmon or an Altart Craniumon, which, as much as I love Craniumon, I'm not going to pay $80 for a card that's going to be $20 in a week.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
You probably
just not how it works.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm definitely worried about Digimon. This is smelling a lot like Naruto, man. I'm telling you. I've been saying it for a while.
For those of you who don't know, he is our Naruto. Got the rug pulled out from under him at the last, what was it? One of the events. They were just like, we're done.
Oh, it's Gen Con. They were like, "Yo, this is the set. Congrats, guys!" And then like we were like, "Okay, cool." And then they were like, "Okay, this is actually the end."
Well, and that's the thing with Digimon, as opposed to One Piece. One Piece has support. Battle Spirits has 37 or some crazy amount of sets over in Japan that they can tap into. Lorcana, Disney owns pretty much everything. I know it's a huge joke amongst people, but Disney owns a lot of product. Not to mention, now they own Marvel, and they officially got Wolverine and like the rest of the rights about a year or two ago. It is about to be insane the amount of competition that Digimon has. And because they are trying to put out new shows, but they're definitely not as followed, it does feel like it's hitting that point where they really need to do something new. And I think that's what they're trying with the ace and the counters and everything. But if that doesn't take off, where do you see the game going?
Yeah, I don't know. This ace thing is a big gamble. But we'll see. We'll see. I think what saves Digimon is balancing. If they would just balance their freaking game, just come out with a ban list, man. Come out with a quarter. Like every 3 months, you put out a new ban and restriction list to balance the game. That would be perfect. I think that would save the game. But I think people are just not feeling the competitive environment they have right now.
Now, do you think they're not doing it every 3 months because they don't want to, in their minds, they don't want to destroy it, or they just don't think there's an issue?
They don't think there's an issue. I think they're following. I think they're following the Japan format more than they follow the American format, and I feel or the English format. And I think that like once it's a problem here, they're just like it's not a problem for that long, so they'll be okay.
Well, and there's a huge difference between best of one and best of three. Because best
Mhm.
of three, I could see most of your cards game one and then be like, okay, I know what I need to do to get around X, Y, and Z. But best of one, it's like, oh crap, he had all that? Well, I'm screwed.
Yeah, and I don't think that they even think about it in a best of three format. I'm convinced that the people who test these cards, they don't even play a full game. They play maybe like 3 hands, and they're like, okay, this is good.
So it's like solitaire, just go, stack up, swing. Okay, that works. That looks good.
Yeah, I don't believe that they play it to, because as much as I love Beelzemon, I don't think anyone really tested that warping into Beelzemon, then digivolving into X, milling your security and swinging. I don't think that that was well tested enough, because it's like turn 2 or 3 they can be at like 30 and trash. Like, what do you do about that? Like, what the
Kill their
fuck?
tamer and then pray. I mean,
Yeah.
luckily I've gotten through. I'm 6-1 right now against the deck, and the
Okay,
one
good.
time that I officially lost was exactly what you said. They swung, they milled, they top decked what they needed to, and they
Mhm.
burned 3 security when I still had 3 security there. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. And if
Oh,
they kill your Digimon on the way up too.
yeah.
So they kill your
Yeah.
blocker. Yeah, Dark Knight is great because I could spawn out another Twilight. Okay, they kill that one too because of this effect, and it's like, okay, shake my hand, have a good one.
Yeah, man, it's actually kind of nutty, but I mean, that's not the first time. I don't think anyone really tested Melga. I think Melga was like a meme to them in the office, and they were like, "Oh, isn't this so cool?" And then they really underestimated. Damn.
Well, it's like
I mean,
All Forces. If All Force gets out, All Force just goes crazy, and it's
oh,
the only deck. And I sort of like Beelzemon and All Force for the main fact of you digivolve the way it was in the show.
hmm
You stick with that Digimon all the way up
hmm
instead of like, I mean, Agumon most of the time it's okay, but then sometimes you do like some random tech. Back when Jessmon was a thing, you went all the way up into your 5, and then sometimes you'd have to do Volcanimon, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. But with
yeah,
Beelzemon, it sticks true to it, and I like that. I hate the deck, but I like that style.
yeah, I definitely like the synergy. What? Yeah. Oh, honestly, I'm gonna apply to Bandai because I could definitely. I got so many ideas.
Now, I'm not going to apply because I would say blue. Blue doesn't exist. Blue is not a color anymore. That has been deleted. It's lost in the Digiworld.
I don't. I still don't understand why they don't create their own Digimon.
Can they?
I don't see why they couldn't. like why do they keep rehashing these same Digimon over and over again? Like there's hundreds of Digimon they haven't even touched yet or haven't showed up in any kind of medium. They definitely could print all kinds of cards, but they don't do it. They just stay around these ridiculous themes and it seems stupid. That would be cool if you
Well,
like
it's sort of
X
like
any
Pokemon did it, right? Pokemon just they had the Pokedex and they're like, oh, this one's never been anywhere. We'll put it on a card.
yeah. They could do like if Diaboromon X Antibody was the store championship card. Do you know how many people would play? I mean, crazy.
Yeah, I would honestly try to get that. So you're saying instead of having the alt arts, have like unique cards. I know that was an issue with Pokemon where like you could only get certain cards at certain events, and some of them created a play advantage. But if you
It
do
does.
it where it doesn't create like a full play advantage and only works for one deck, like Diaboromon would only work for a Diaboromon deck. So you would still have to play that deck in order to use it.
Well, so like EX4 comes out the end of June, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if they were like for the May store championships, we're giving you Diaboromon X Antibody, but he's a box topper in the EX4 set. You know what I'm saying? So you can play a store championship and get him early. He'll be gold foiled or alt arted, whatever. But then when you pop boxes of EX4, you can get him as a box topper and some regular art. So it'd be a way for you to get like cool cards early, but then also everyone has access to it in over a month, so it doesn't like give you a play advantage or really screw the market. That would be cool.
I can see that. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of the market and EX4, EX4 does come out the end of June.
Hmm.
And honestly, other than one card, there's not much I'm looking forward to in it. And I feel like with these sets now, I mean, we've talked about this entire time, it feels like the singles market is the way to go with Digimon. There's nothing that's driving me to a store and being like, hey, I want to spend $80 where I can just go pick out the cards I want and spend maybe 10. Do you see that becoming better with Royal Knights because a lot of people are looking forward to it, or with Ace because it's a new mechanic, or do you think the singles market is sort of just the way to go?
That's hard to say. Well, I will say that the EX sets always are terrible. So like I don't think there's been a single EX set that like was a must have. I think EX2 did well just because Tamers is a really good season and people love those Digimon. But in
Mm-hmm.
general, I think that the EX sets have always been missed because of when they come out. Um, I don't know. I think it just depends. I think because I don't think it has something to do with the sets that the singles market is increasing. I think that because most of the Digimon player base is playing a second card game, that the decks that I play are the decks that I'm going to play, and so if I get support, I'll buy a couple singles to support my decks that I already have. But I think that Digimon players are pretty settled in the decks that they play, um, and it's because they don't balance their game that I can play the same deck for several sets and still be good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I'm not even gonna go on that tangent, but so I think that as these other card games are developing, like I'm gonna pour my money into Battle Spirits or pour my money into One Piece because that's the new thing on the block, and I need to buy a bunch of bulk. But Digimon players, for the most part, we have enough bulk. We don't need anything else. So I think that's kind of why people are going singles. And so I would say that singles is probably the way to go because for the next several sets, I don't see any new deck archetypes coming into play that require you to buy a bunch of that set to get the whole deck. Like maybe you're getting one or two cards from the set to bring like Shine back online, bring Craniumon, Anubismon, like those kinds of Digimon, they come back, but most of the cards that you need for those decks aren't actually in this set. It's just like one card that makes that deck cracked again. Like so, uh, yeah, I don't know.
I
I
mean,
think
you
that
have like Shadow Seraphimon coming out, which has a pretty cool alt-art. You have another Gaiomon alt-art. It looks like EX4 is basically just for the alt-arts. But
yeah.
you are right. There's no. Oh, and Kuzahamon, the Sakuyamon
Mhm.
blue yellow deck that can honestly go off, but it's like you said, it's one card, and yeah, Sakuyamon's back online. Great. You have Cress Garurumon. Um, I think this is the one.
I
No, this is
know
not the one.
Bravemon comes out that set.
Yep, Ravemon comes out, so that can bring a few decks back online. But again, it's mostly just stuff where it's like Blue Flare, Dark Knight, Sakuyamon,
Hmm.
Blitz Greymon, and Victory Greymon. Like decks that have already been built and stood the test of time for one set that you're just plug and playing.
Sure are. Yeah, yeah, sure are. Yeah, I
And I mean,
don't.
you do have Alter B, which is cool, but Alter B just feels like a trap. It's another expensive ass card that's 7 costs that it's going to take you forever to get to there. And with Beelzemon being a thing, you're never going to get to level 7 quick enough.
Yeah, that's honestly that's what I'm saying. Like, if you picked up Beelzemon right now and you alt-arted it, I think reliably you could play that deck all the way to BT14.
Probably.
Like, I just don't see decks being fast enough to keep up with it. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, I'm not deep into this BT13 meta, but I think it's gonna be the next Melga for a while. I think you can just play Beelzemon and be fine. I think Hunters is gonna be fine for a while.
One, it seems like with BT13, it's a very expensive cost deck because with the Royal Knights, you have to put the egg out, and then you're hard playing your Royal Knights. Yeah, you're reducing it every time, but at that point, can't you just put a Pillowmon out that says you can't reduce play cost and the deck's dead in the water? It just, I don't know. Like you said, you got Shine Greymon Ruin mode. You got another purple yellow
Such
freaking
a good
Shine
card.
Greymon. That's gonna be crazy.
Such a good card, man.
But again, there's nothing that's screaming out to me like, hey, we're going to take down Beals, we're going to take down Hunters, we're going to be the end all be all deck until maybe Ace. And if Ace doesn't do it, I'm out of ideas. I don't know what to tell him.
Yeah, I don't know. BT14 is gonna make or break Digimon for sure.
I mean, they do. Oh, I forgot about this one. Black Mega Gargamon. I forgot they were putting him out. So you can run Black Green. That could be a fun thing. But I don't know. I'm hoping and dreaming. I mean, you can look on, as everyone see, the Digimon card game English version Twitter. It's great. They're talking about new trailers and regionals and what the cards look like. But again, why why are we not like, hey, this is something new we're gonna do for you? It just seems like a lot of propaganda for propaganda's sake.
So that's why I got a question for you, man. With the way the Digimon's going, I know that we've been playing it really from close to the beginning of it.
Mm-hmm.
With all the other card games, even I saw Max. Shout out to Max DePair. Uh, he was talking about a Star Wars card game that's coming out.
I forgot
Like, the
about
card
that.
game market is actually going to be crazy here in the next couple of years, or I would say the next year. Do you think that Digimon will be able to stay relevant with all the other things that are coming out?
If it were just and only universe, which I don't think many people are gonna follow,
Hmm.
Battle Spirits, which if you're gonna play it, you can honestly duel with another game, and One Piece, if it was just those main games, then yeah, I mean Yu-Gi-Oh's always gonna be a thing, but Yu-Gi-Oh really you have to be into it to know it. And Magic is great, Magic is fun, Magic is expensive as hell to get into. If it was just that, then yes, Digimon would be fine. But the minute Lorcana hits the scene, all bets are off because of it being Disney and how many different fan bases they have. They can
Hmm.
even do Star Wars. Yeah, there's a solo Star Wars one coming out, but they can add Star Wars to that. They can add Marvel to that. They can add any single thing from their huge vault of stuff and be like, okay, we're going to put this out because this is what the people want.
Yeah.
I don't know if Digimon survives that. Honestly, I don't know if a few card games survive that.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely interested, but it makes me nervous about continuing to invest in the game because of what's on the horizon. So yeah, we'll see. And it makes me sad because I really like Digimon
Oh, Digimon's
as a
great. Digimon's
franchise.
fun, but
They just card game. They need some help.
and it feels like when at least when I was a kid and I told everyone I watched Pokemon, they were like, "Oh, you really gotta try Digimon. It's amazing, man. It's like way better than Pokemon." Now I'm playing the game and everyone's like, oh yeah, that's okay, but you should try Pokemon. That game's great. And it's like I can't win for losing. I was young and chose wrong. I'm old and I chose wrong. I don't know what to do.
I mean, Pokemon is just accessible. I think that app is just so good.
Pokemon is, and it's again stood the test of time. It's constantly evolved and it's changed with what it needed to do. And
Oh,
I don't feel like Digimon has quite done that. Now, don't get me wrong, I won't be done playing the game because I do have my decks I like, and Dark Knightmon is actually great this meta. So I'm
yeah,
having fun with it. But again, Dark Knightmon is a deck that I haven't really changed except for one or two cards since it's come out. Whereas with Pokemon, from what I'm hearing from everyone, I would have had to change in and out as much as I possibly can to make it new and relevant.
yeah. I hate that I'm gonna say this because I would lose Demi Mirabot at some point. But I wish that they would rotate sets for Digimon just to keep the game fresh, and people are constantly innovating and making new cards, and decks would fall in and out of favor. It's just when you watch tier list videos, it's like people have like 60, 70 different decks on there, and you're like, what? Why are we even talking about this? Like,
It's like, yeah, that's a tier 2. Yeah, we know. No one's ever played it before. That's why.
yeah, like what? Um, Say, I wish they would rotate out. But I think that what keeps Pokemon relevant, and that's why I don't even really consider Pokemon a big three. I know I'm gonna get hate for that, but I don't really accept Pokemon as a competitive card game because I mean it is. But what keeps it alive is not the people who play it competitively. It's the little kids who buy it and like share it in school or trade and don't know how to play. Like most of the people who are buying Pokemon cards don't even know how to play the game. So I think that there's a niche crowd of people who are going to these tournaments and playing competitively. And yeah, it definitely is competitive, but I just don't think that it's as big as people think it is, as people who are playing. I do think some of these smaller, like Card Fight Vanguard or Yu Gi Oh!, I think they do kind of eclipse Pokemon as far as their competitive circle.
Yeah, I mean, I've working in a school, you see so many kids walk around with the small little things of binders, and they're like, oh, I got this gold card. I got this gold card. What does it
Yeah,
do? Oh, it's a Charizard. What does it do? It's a Charizard. Oh, okay.
yeah,
That's what it
yeah.
does. It's a Charizard.
Yeah, and I wish we could catch. I wish Digimon had that cash cow, man. I wish the little kids wanted to show each other their Agumon, but it just is not real. It's not
No.
real.
And that's the biggest, I think the biggest hurdle that Digimon needs to learn to get over is what to do to bring in new people. Because even when you bring in new people now, they're like, okay, I'm reading this, and then I go to a tournament, okay, I'm gonna play. I play 4 Beelzemon in a row. If I'm a new player, I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah,
Like, even as a seasoned player, when I would go in and face 4 Melgas in a row, I was almost like, I'm done the game. There's no point in playing if I'm going to run against the same deck every single time.
yeah, definitely. Your meta can kind of ruin the game for you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It is super sad. But anyway, that is all the time we got today, guys. As always, thank you for coming out. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We have our Discord on there. You're already on our YouTube. We're starting to do a little bit more with that. And then we do have a Twitter. We're going to have random questions on there as well as some contests coming soon. So make sure you check that out. And as always, whether it's morning, night, evening, whatever, have a good day, have a good week, have a good holiday. To all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. You
Oh,
definitely deserve whatever you're going to be doing that day. Get some sleep, get some rest, have breakfast in bed, go to a spa, do what you need to do. It is tough. And for the fathers, well, wait a month. You can
hey.
have your day then. But other than that, we will catch y'all later. And as always, remember to smile definitely helps.